Your breath generates a frequency. Right now, you're broadcasting at 7.8 hertzes, the exact same frequency as Earth's electromagnetic field. But here's what changes everything. When you consciously shift your breath pattern, you can tune to any frequency in existence, including the one where your desires already exist. This isn't metaphysics. This is the physics of resonance. Nikola Tesla said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." He wasn't speaking poetically. He was revealing the operating system of reality itself. Most people take 23,000 breaths a day in complete unconsciousness, never realizing that each one broadcasts a frequency that either attracts or repels what they want. I'm going to show you the 4-stage frequency breath method that turns your body into a precision antenna, plus the 0.3-second quantum gap where your frequency locks into the field and manifestation becomes inevitable. Watch what happens when sound meets matter. Pour sand on a metal plate. Run a violin bow along the edge. The sand begins to move, not randomly. It organizes itself into perfect geometric patterns, circles, hexagons, mandalas. The frequency of the sound is literally sculpting matter into form. This is cymatics, the study of visible sound, and it proves something extraordinary. Frequency doesn't just move through matter, it organizes matter, it creates structure. It transforms chaos into pattern. Dr. Hans Jenny spent decades documenting this phenomenon. He showed that different frequencies create different patterns. Play a low tone, you get simple circles. Raise the frequency. The patterns become more complex. Sacred geometry emerges. Mandalas, fractals, the same patterns found in snowflakes, in flowers, in galaxies. Matter is listening to frequency, and it obeys. Now here's where this becomes personal. Here's where this stops being a science experiment and becomes the key to your transformation. Your body is 70% water, your tissues, your cells, your blood, all liquid. And liquid is exquisitely sensitive to frequency. When you speak, when you think, when you breathe, you're generating frequencies that move through this liquid medium. Every breath creates a pressure wave that travels through your entire body. That wave has a frequency, and that frequency is organizing the water in your cells exactly like sound organizes sand on a plate. Shallow, anxious breathing creates chaotic frequencies. Your cellular water responds by forming disordered patterns. Your body literally holds the geometry of anxiety. Deep, rhythmic breathing creates coherent frequencies. Your cellular water responds by forming organized patterns, sacred geometry. Your body becomes a living mandala. This is why ancient yogis called the body a temple. They understood what modern science is only now validating. Your body is an antenna, and your breath is the tuning mechanism. Nikola Tesla had a secret. While Edison was trying to dominate electricity through brute force, Tesla understood something more fundamental. Everything is frequency. In 1899, Tesla retreated to Colorado Springs. Alone with the mountains and the stars, he conducted experiments that would shatter his understanding of reality. What he discovered wasn't just science. It was the operating manual for consciousness itself. He discovered he could send electrical energy through the earth itself. Wireless power, wireless communication, all through resonance. Tesla realized the earth has a natural frequency. Here's the 7.8 hertzes. It pulses like a heartbeat, and when you match that frequency, you tap into the earth's electromagnetic field. You become amplified. But Tesla went further. He discovered that every object has a resonant frequency, the frequency at which it naturally vibrates. Hit that frequency, and the object responds powerfully. Miss it, and nothing happens. He famously claimed he could split the earth in half with the right resonant frequency. He said he once accidentally created an earthquake by attaching a small oscillator to a steel beam in his lab. The beam's resonant frequency matched the building's foundation. The entire structure began to shake. Police arrived, thinking it was an actual earthquake. Tesla had to destroy the device with a sledgehammer to stop the building from collapsing. This is the power of resonance. When two frequencies match, energy transfers effortlessly, amplification occurs. Small inputs create massive outputs. Here's what this means for you. Your desires exist at a specific frequency in the quantum field. Your ideal health, your dream relationship, your creative breakthrough, each has a resonant frequency. And your breath is the oscillator that can tune you to match it. When your breath pattern aligns with the frequency of your desire, resonance occurs. The quantum field responds. What seemed impossible becomes inevitable, not through force, through frequency alignment. Think of reality as a radio spectrum. Every possible experience exists as a frequency on that spectrum. Most people are stuck on one station, usually the frequency of their conditioning, their past, their fear. They keep trying to change their life by thinking harder, trying harder, doing more. But you can't change the station by yelling at the radio. You change it by adjusting the dial. Your breath is the dial. When you breathe from anxiety, you're tuned to 15-20 hertzes. The frequency of stress, urgency, survival. And the quantum field broadcasts back experiences that match. Problems, conflicts, scarcity. When you breathe from coherence, you're tuned to 7 to 8 hertzes, the frequency of Earth's natural resonance, alpha brainwave state. And the quantum field broadcasts back experiences that match, synchronicity, flow, abundance. The universe isn't withholding anything from you. You're just tuned to the wrong frequency. Here's something most people don't know. Your cells emit light. In the 1970 seconds, Dr. Fritz Albert Popp confirmed what mystics had known for millennia. We are literally beings of light. While studying DNA, he discovered something that would bridge science and spirituality forever. Living cells emit ultra-weak photons. Light so faint it requires special equipment to detect. But it's there, constant, measurable. Every cell in your body is glowing. Right now, you're literally a being of light. But here's what Popp discovered that changes everything about how transformation works. The light your cells emit isn't random, it's coherent, like a laser. When you're healthy, when you're in harmony, your cells emit organized, coherent light. The photons are synchronized, they move together. When you're sick, when you're in disharmony, your cells emit chaotic light. The photons are scattered, desynchronized. It's like the difference between a laser and a flashlight. Same light, completely different organization. And here's the key that connects directly to quantum manifestation. Your breath pattern directly influences this cellular light emission. When you breathe consciously, smooth, rhythmic, deep, your cells emit organized photons, coherent light. You become a laser of intention. And in quantum physics, coherent light has extraordinary power. Coherent photons don't just illuminate, they organize. They create structure in the quantum field. When you breathe from stress, shallow, erratic, held, your cells emit scattered photons, chaotic light. You become static, not signal, and the quantum field can't lock onto static. Possibilities remain as waves. Nothing collapses, nothing changes. This is where breath stops being biological and becomes quantum technology. The ancient Egyptians knew this. They called conscious breathing, painting with the light of Ra. Ra was the sun god, the source of all light. And the Egyptian priesthood understood that breath could literally sculpt the light emanating from the human body. In the mystery schools along the Nile, initiates spent years learning to control their breath, not for health, not for relaxation, for power. They understood that breath was the technology that turned a human being into a frequency generator capable of influencing reality itself. The practice was called resting in the silence of Ra. The practitioner would breathe in a specific rhythm, hold the breath at precise intervals, and enter a state where the light of their cells became so coherent it could be perceived by others as an aura of authority and power. This wasn't metaphor, this was technology. Breath as the control mechanism for cellular light emission. You're doing this right now, unconsciously. With every breath, you're either strengthening the coherence of your cellular light or collapsing it into chaos. The question is, are you doing it by accident or by design? Here's what quantum physics now understands. When your frequency stabilizes through breath, you become what's called a coherent observer. And coherent observers don't just witness reality, they collapse quantum possibility into lived experience. Your observation doesn't just reveal what's there, your observation determines what becomes real. But only when your frequency is stable enough to hold the observation long enough for the collapse to complete. But there's something even more profound happening in the space between breaths. The quantum gap, that 0.3-second pause where frequency locks into the field and intention crystallizes into instruction. Take a breath now. Notice what happens at the top of your inhale. There's a moment, brief but profound, where everything pauses. Your lungs are full, yet you haven't begun exhaling. Then, at the completion of your exhale, another pause before the next inhalation begins. These aren't empty spaces, they're tuning windows. In radio technology, there's a principle called frequency locking. When you want to tune a receiver to a specific station, you need a moment of stability, a brief pause where the oscillator can sync with the carrier wave. Without that pause, the signal drifts. You get static. Your breath creates the same mechanism in your body. The pause at the top of your inhale, that's your frequency locking moment. That 0.3-second window where your cellular oscillation stabilizes and locks onto the frequency of your intention. In that gap, your heart rhythm stabilizes, your brainwaves synchronize, your cellular light emission becomes coherent. And in that coherence, your intention stops being a wish and becomes a broadcast frequency that the quantum field can actually respond to. Ancient Tibetan monks understood this. They developed elaborate breath retention practices not for lung capacity, but for frequency control. They discovered that the longer they could rest in the gap between breaths, the more powerful their manifestation abilities became. They weren't being mystical, they were being practical. They had discovered through centuries of experimentation that consciousness requires stability to impress itself onto the quantum field. And the gap between breaths is where that stability occurs naturally. Think of it like a tuning fork. Strike a tuning fork, and it rings at its resonant frequency. But if you keep striking it rapidly, over and over, the sound becomes muddy, unclear. The frequency can't establish itself. Now strike it once and let it ring. Let the sound stabilize. That clear, pure tone, that's coherence. That's a frequency the universe can lock onto. Most people breathe like they're striking the tuning fork constantly. Rapid, shallow, anxious breathing. Their frequency never stabilizes. The quantum field can't lock on. The waves don't collapse. Nothing manifests. But when you learn to rest in the gap, when you give your frequency time to stabilize between breaths, you create a signal so clear the universe has no choice but to respond. The Egyptian initiates called this gap the needle's eye, that impossibly narrow opening through which infinite possibilities must pass to become reality. They taught that all true power lives in the space between action and stillness. The quantum gap isn't just physics, it's the womb of creation, that sacred darkness where all possibilities gestate before birth. The Egyptians knew the divine feminine as the space between breaths, the void that is not empty but infinitely full. You're not trying to control the field in this gap, you're communing with it. You're allowing your frequency to harmonize with the fundamental frequency of existence itself. In the quantum gap, you become the resonant frequency. and reality reorganizes around that frequency. Listen, before we go into the practice, I need you to hear this. You're not broken. You're not doing it wrong. You haven't failed at manifestation. Maybe you've spent years trying affirmations, vision boards, courses, healings, and you're exhausted because nothing seems to shift, not in the permanent, undeniable way you were promised. Here's the truth. You've just been broadcasting a frequency you didn't know you were broadcasting. The moment you became unconscious of your breath, you became unconscious of your power. But consciousness isn't something you need to achieve. It's something you already have that you're learning to direct. This isn't about becoming worthy of transformation. This is about remembering you always were. Every shallow breath, every held breath, every anxious breath, they weren't mistakes. They were your nervous system's intelligent response to a world that taught you to be afraid, to be small, to be safe. But that frequency served you then. It doesn't serve you now. And the beautiful thing about frequency? It can change in a single breath. Sarah spent 3 years trying to manifest her business. Affirmations, vision boards, endless courses. Nothing worked. Then she learned this protocol. Within 60 days, 3 opportunities appeared that had been invisible to her before. Not because the universe finally heard her, because her frequency finally matched the frequency of what she desired. The quantum field wasn't withholding. She was just tuned to the wrong station. You are the antenna, and what I'm about to show you is how to tune it. Here's the precise method that activates this transformation. Stage 1. Witness the current frequency. Before you can retune an antenna, you need to know what frequency it's currently broadcasting. Observe your breath without changing it. Don't try to breathe better or deeper. Just watch. Feel the air flowing through your nostrils, expanding your lungs, then gently releasing. Notice the rhythm. Is it fast or slow? Shallow or deep? Smooth or jagged? This is your current frequency, the station you're tuned to right now. Most people discover they're breathing at 15 to 18 breaths per minute. That's the frequency of stress, survival mode. The body broadcasting threat, problem, urgency to the quantum field. Just witness, no judgment. You're becoming the observer of your own frequency instead of being unconsciously controlled by it. Stage 2. Descend into the resonance chamber. Your body holds frequencies in different locations. Tension is stored frequency. Trauma is crystallized frequency. And you can retune these areas through conscious breath. Breathe into areas of tension. Your shoulders might carry frequencies of responsibility, burden, and carrying too much. Your chest might hold frequencies of protection, defense, and guarding against betrayal. Your stomach might hold frequencies of anxiety, uncertainty, and future fear. Breathe into these spaces, not to fix them, not to make them go away, but to reintroduce coherent frequency, to remind the tissues what harmony feels like. Those areas of tension aren't mistakes. They're not problems to fix. They're frequencies that got stuck because they were too intense to process in real time. Trauma is frozen frequency, and breath is the gentle thawing. You're not forcing healing. You're inviting those frozen frequencies back into flow. As you do this, you're literally changing the vibrational pattern of those areas. Cymatics in real time. Your breath is the sound wave. Your tissues are the sand. The geometry is reorganizing. Stage 3. Rest in the quantum gap. This is the 0.3-second frequency lock, the tuning window. At the top of your inhale, pause. Don't force retention. Don't hold with effort. Just rest. Let everything stabilize. In this gap, your cellular light emission becomes coherent, your heart rhythm smooths, your brain waves synchronize. And your intention, the frequency you're choosing to embody, locks into the quantum field. The ancient Egyptians called this resting in the silence of Ra. You're touching the place where human and cosmic frequencies meet. where your oscillation harmonizes with the fundamental vibration of existence. Let your intention crystallize here, not as thought, as frequency. Feel it as a vibration in your body. That feeling is the frequency of your desire. You're tuning the dial to match it. This is creation's womb itself, the sacred pause where possibility becomes instruction to the quantum field. Stage 4. Broadcast the coherent signal. Your exhale is transmission. You're not trying to make things happen. You're allowing your new frequency to broadcast into the quantum field. Exhale smoothly, rhythmically. Let it be effortless. This is coherence. Organized light, clear signal. Your cells are emitting synchronized photons. Your heart is generating stable electromagnetic patterns. You've become a precision antenna, broadcasting the frequency of your chosen reality. The quantum field is already responding. Reality is already beginning to reorganize around this new frequency, not through struggle, through resonance. You can do this anywhere, anytime. Feel your breath. Current frequency. What station are you on right now? Slow to 6 breaths per minute. In for 5, out for 5. This is 10 Hz, the boundary between beta stress and alpha flow. Rest in the gap. At the top of each inhale, pause for 1 to 2 seconds. Let frequency lock. Feel coherence stabilize. Notice the shift, your nervous system recalibrating, your cells are organizing, your antenna tuning. This is frequency alignment. Not positive thinking, not visualization, actual physics happening in your body. Here's what most people misunderstand about frequency and manifestation. They think it's about action, about doing, about making things happen through effort. But frequency doesn't work that way. Frequency works through being. A mountain doesn't struggle against storms, it allows them to pass. It doesn't chase sunsets, it simply receives light. Rivers flow around it, seasons change upon it. Yet it remains centered in its own frequency. The mountain's power isn't in action, it's in the presence. It broadcasts one stable frequency. I am here, I am solid, I am unmovable. And reality organizes around that frequency. You shift from trying to control reality to becoming the stable frequency around which reality reorganizes. From exhausting effort to effortless alignment. When your breath is smooth, rhythmic, coherent, you become the mountain. You broadcast dynamic stillness, and everything in your field responds to that frequency. Problems don't disappear. They stop being problems. They become waves passing over the mountain. Challenges don't vanish. They transform into opportunities because you're no longer vibrating at the frequency of threat. You become the tuning fork that everything else attunes to. When you stabilize your frequency, you don't just transform your personal reality, you become a tuning fork for collective consciousness. Your coherence invites others into coherence. This is how one person's transformation ripples out to heal family patterns, shift organizational culture, elevate community consciousness. You're not just tuning your antenna, you're raising the frequency of the entire quantum field. You are not separate from the universe trying to connect. You are a frequency generator within the universal field of frequencies. You are the quantum field experiencing itself through form. You draw 23,000 breaths a day. That's 23,000 opportunities to broadcast either chaos or coherence, static or signal. Right now, today, you can start using those breaths differently. Not tomorrow, not after you understand more. Today, because the quantum field is already responding to your current frequency. And the moment you shift that frequency through conscious breath, everything around you begins to reorganize, not through force, through resonance. This isn't just about manifesting desires. This is about remembering you are the conscious field experiencing itself through form. When your breath becomes conscious, everything becomes conscious. Your cells, your heart, your reality. Consciousness isn't something to achieve, it's something to breathe into. Tesla proved it with his oscillator that nearly destroyed a building. Hans Jenny proved it with sand organizing into sacred geometry. Fritz Albert Popp proved it with cellular light emissions. And the Egyptian mystery schools proved it with initiates who could alter reality through breath alone. The shortest path to transformation isn't more effort, it's frequency alignment. 3 conscious breaths restore your coherence. Your stable frequency becomes a silent invitation for the quantum field to harmonize with your intention. Drop one word in the comments describing the frequency you're embodying moving forward. Subscribe to stay tuned to this signal. Remember, the universe isn't a puzzle to solve, it's a frequency to match, and your breath is the dial.